Hello children, today let us understand a history lesson of 6th standard, that is chapter 4, Ancient Civilization. In this lesson we will study about the important civilizations of Egypt. There are six ancient civilizations in this chapter, and the first one is Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, Chinese civilization, Greek civilization, Roman civilization, and the last one is Harappan civilizations. Today we will learn about Egyptian civilization. We know that we human beings and animal life need food, water, air and light for the survival. Together with this, we need some of the basic needs such as shelter and clothing. Most of the people like to move towards the banks of the rivers. Why? Because of the favorable weather conditions and availability of water. Forced the people to settle down on the banks of the river. Hence, the river banks became the cradles of civilizations. As I said, Egyptian civilization flourished on the banks of the river Nile, and the Mesopotamian civilization started on the banks of the river Euphrates and Tigris, and the Chinese civilization which flourished on the banks of the river Wanguo, Yangtze and Sikiang, and the Harappan civilization which started on the banks of the river Indus. Children, you can look at this map which shows the ancient civilizations. Now we'll learn about the first ancient civilization of the world, that is the Egyptian civilization. Children, where this civilization took place? Yes, Egyptian civilization took place on the banks of the river Nile, and the Nile is the longest river in the world, and it is the major north flowing river in the continent of Africa, and this joins the Mediterranean Sea. We say Egypt is the gift of Nile. Can you tell me children why? Yes, without this river Nile, Egypt would have been a desert. Because of the river Nile, Egyptian civilization flourished or started. Now, let us know about the political history of Egyptian civilization. Political dynasties or political kingdoms witnessed in the Egypt about 5400 years ago. The kings of this Egyptian dynasties were called as pharaohs. Among those, Menes was the first pharaoh, and Memphis was the capital of this Menes, the first pharaoh. Khufu, Amenhotep, Tammuz were the other prominent pharaohs. These pharaohs gave importance to art and architecture. A pyramid at Giza was the largest pyramid built by one of the pharaohs called Khufu. Another pharaoh, Amenhotep, conquered many places and expanded his kingdom. Among all these pharaohs, Thutmose first was the greatest conqueror. That means he conquered or acquired many more places into his territory. After his rule, his daughter Hatshepsut came to power and known as the first empress of the world. Empress is the other gender of emperor, we call as Maharani. Many pharaohs expanded the Egyptian kingdom Finally, about 2400 years ago, Alexander the Great from Greek conquered Egypt. He had an eye on Egyptian civilization, and from long back he succeeded to conquer. He had a military general named Ptolemy, one of the intelligent and strong men. Alexander only conquered Egypt, but he did not remain in Egypt. He made Ptolemy as his representative to look after the empire. Later, Ptolemy declared himself as a king of Egypt and established the Ptolemaic dynasty named after his name. The last ruler of the dynasty was the popular queen named Cleopatra. Children, Cleopatra is one of the beautiful lady, and there's an English movie about this lady Cleopatra. If you get a chance, watch a film. And after her rule, eventually Egypt became a province of Rome. We understood that many pharaohs ruled Egypt. Then Egypt was conquered by Alexander. After him, Ptolemy. Then Cleopatra. Later, Egypt came under the control of Roman Emperor. Now let's study about the contributions, aspects or features of the Egyptian civilization. Wheat and barley were the food crops of the people of Egypt. They constructed canals, and the water of the river Nile was used for agriculture through these canals. One of the bad aspects of this civilization was slavery. It was one of the black mark to Egyptian civilization. Here, slaves, their condition was pathetic, which means miserable or sorrowful. Slaves were the poor people, they were purchased by the rich people. These people suffered a lot under the rich landlords. Women were given high respect. This was a good point. Women were given high respect and had good status in the society. Then there was a belief among the Egyptian, that is about life of death. They thought that the dead person once again will get life. Thinking this, they preserved the dead bodies without burying. And these preserved dead bodies was called mummy in Egypt. Children, you used to call your mother as mummy. It is wrong to call mummy to your mother. Mummy means preserved dead body. So hereafter you should call your mother as mom or mama or amma, whatever you like. Most of us have a habit of calling our mother as mummy. I hope you understood the difference. In Egypt, mummy means preserved dead body. In ancient Egypt, every city had its own guardian goddess, and they worshipped as God. Here in the Egypt, each society has the goddess. Sun and rivers were considered and worshipped as gods. This type of beliefs are existence even now in some of the villages. The writing or script of Egyptian is known as hieroglyphic, which means sacred writing. How they used to write? They used ink for writing and wrote on papyrus grass. And this grass was found growing on the banks of the river Nile. Children, we know about geometry such as angles, squares, cubes, cuboids, etc. And Egyptians had great knowledge of geometry, which they used in constructing buildings and pyramids and many more architectures. Sphinx is the largest statue built by them, and it is one of the attractive, most attractive we can say, Egyptian architecture. The Sphinx is an animal with a body of a lion and head of a man. I hope you understood clearly about one of the oldest civilization, that is Egyptian civilization. Now let us revise the fascinances of Egyptian civilization. Roman number 1, fill in the blanks with suitable words. Egyptian civilization was born on the banks of the river Nile. The pharaoh who built a big pyramid at Giza was Khufu. Dash is the Dash is the first civilization of the ancient world, Egypt or Egyptian civilization. The statue, fourth one, the statue with the body of a lion and the head of man is called Sphinx. And the Roman number 2, answer the following questions in a sentence. First one, which is the longest river in the world? Nile is the longest river in the world. And second question is, why Egypt is called as the gift of Nile? If the Nile had not flown through Egypt, it would have been a desert. Thus, Egypt is considered as the gift of Nile. And the third question is, who is a pharaoh? The king of Egypt is called as a pharaoh. Name some of the pharaohs. Menes, Khufu, Amenhotep and Tammuz are the pharaohs. Then, what does mummy mean? Mummy means preserved dead body, which is the script of ancient civilization. Hieroglyphic is the script of ancient civilization. Thank you for listening, children. Have a great day. We'll meet you again in another video. Till then, bye.